Oh, hello there. Here we are again with another live stream. And yes, we are with you today as live can be, except for this moment where I'm in the garden talking to you now. So all of this is pre-recorded. Isn't it strange? World leaders from around the planet have been meeting together to talk about the environment. And here I am in the garden in mid-November in my t-shirt. It's incredible. I'm standing out here. I'm wearing no coat, no warm clothing. I have my t-shirt, and today the temperature is quite high. In fact, it's around 17 degrees. Can you believe it? So we are just a few weeks away from Christmas, and here I am standing in the garden wearing just one layer of clothing. Today we are looking at many subjects. We also have the game that we started last week, Fill in the Blanks. We will be playing that again. So stick around, please don't go away. Do not click off, because you might miss something interesting. This is English Addict, coming to you live from the birthplace of English, which just happens to be England.
Oh, there you are. Nice to see you today. Welcome back. And it's nice to see you right here, right now, live. Yes, hi everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy? I hope you have a smile. I want to see those smiles today because I'm feeling a little bit miserable. I will explain what that is all about a little bit later on. But first of all, can I say hi there? Welcome. Yes, this is live as live can be. You can see just up there, if you look, you can see the time. It's 6 minutes past 2 o'clock on a Sunday. And my name is Mr. Duncan. I am one of those up there. That little thing spinning around. I am an English addict, and I have a feeling that you might be one of those as well. I talk about the English language. I love English so much. I like all of the words from A to Z. And I know what you're going to say, Mr. Duncan, and Mr. Duncan, you don't pronounce the last letter of the alphabet like that. It's Z, Mr. Duncan, not Z. Well, can I just say you are wrong? Because in American English, they say Z. In British English, we say Z for the last letter of the alphabet. So already we are only just a few seconds into today's live stream. Already you are learning things, because that's what it's all about, you see. It's all about learning about the English language and enjoying this beautiful language as well. So my name is Duncan. I love English very much, and I have a feeling maybe perhaps you are one of those as well. Here to join us live, we have lots of things to talk about today, many things to do, including our new contest, our little competition that we are running during the live stream, Fill in the Blanks. So I will give you some sentences later on, and all you have to do is make your own choice of words to put in the sentence to complete the actual sentence itself. It sounds easy, but can I just say it's not as easy as it seems. Nice to see you all here today. Yes, we have made it all the way to the end of another weekend and another week. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, we are also approaching mid-November, even though outside it seems like late spring to be honest. It's very warm outside. Yesterday was lovely and warm. Today, not so warm, but it is still rather mild. It is a sunny, warm Sunday. We are back together again. It's so nice to see you here. It is lovely because without you, there would be none of this. Can I just remind you once again to give me a super duper wonderful 100% like for today's live stream. So please click that like button as often as you want, although please only click it once, because you can only really give me one like, I'm afraid. Each person is only allowed to give one like. So show your appreciation right now and give me a lovely thumbs up on YouTube, because without those things, you see, I would find it really hard to survive. I don't know what's going on today. I have a very dry mouth. My mouth is dry, and there is a reason for that. I will be telling you all about what happened yesterday to put me in such a bad, sulky, miserable mood this morning. I will tell you later on. We went out last night, Mr. Steve and myself. We were going to see a show. We went also to an Indian restaurant before that. However, things did not go as planned for various reasons. We will be talking all about that and also showing you the evidence as well. There will be photographs of the event also coming up later on. So please don't go away. You might actually enjoy it, to be honest. We also have the live chat. Without you, there would be none of this. So basically, technically, it's your fault. This exists because of you. It's your fault. I blame you. It's all down to you, to be honest. Hello, live chat. Who was first? Oh, very interesting situation taking place here on the live chat. Very interesting. We have Luis Mendez, or should I say Luis Mendez, is here today. You are first on today's live chat. Congratulations to you. Well done, Lewis. You are first on today's live chat. We also have Paolo, we have Beatrice, we have Claudia. Hello, Claudia. I wonder, and you know what I'm going to ask, I wonder what you have boiling, simmering, or roasting in your pot today. What's cooking, Claudia? What have you got in the pot? What's cooking, Claudia? Is it something spicy and hot? Is it something salty or not? Oh, Claudia, what is in the pot? What do you have in your pot today? Please let us know, Claudia, because to be honest with you, I'm always interested to find out what you have cooking in your pot. We also have Mr. Steve coming later on. Don't forget, Steve is here. I have had some lovely messages saying, Mr. Duncan, I can't begin to tell you how happy I am to see Mr. Steve with you on Wednesdays. Yes, Steve is now joining me on Wednesday as well as Sunday. Of course, it isn't as long as Sunday, but he will make an appearance on Wednesdays as well as Sundays. So don't forget, if you miss my Wednesday live stream, well, you are missing Mr. Steve. That's all I can say. Hello also to Mosen. Hello Maruts. Hello Maruts. Sroka. I haven't seen you for a while. Where have you been? It's nice to see you back. We also have the School of the Future. Hello School of the Future. Yes, I can read French. You might be surprised to find that out. Oh, Mr. Duncan. We also have Tran Van. Hello Tran Van, watching in Vietnam. A big hello to you. Can I say hello to Vietnam? Nice to see you here as well. And everyone watching there. Rubar Majet is here. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I hope you have a wonderful day. I am curious about today's topic. Well, today's topic is neighbours. We all have them. It doesn't matter if you live in a large apartment block or maybe you have a country mansion. Somewhere nearby there will be a neighbour. It doesn't matter where you live, how much money you have, somewhere nearby there will be a neighbour somewhere near. And sometimes you know what I'm going to say. You know where I'm coming from. Neighbours can be rather annoying, to say the least. Neighbours can be annoying. They can get on your nerves, of course. There is always two sides to every argument. Sometimes neighbours can be very useful as well. They can help you out when you need something. They might be there. They might one day save your life. It's happened as well. There have been many situations, even around here where I live, where one neighbour has heard another neighbour having problems, or maybe they've fallen over, or they've had an accident in the garden, and then the neighbour has come to their rescue. So neighbours are not always annoying. They can be nice sometimes. So today, to set a rather negative tone to today's live stream, annoying things that neighbours can do, because there are many things. Neighbours, we all have them. Sometimes we can avoid them, and sometimes we find it very hard not to. So that is today's main topic. As I mentioned, also we have the super new feature, Fill in the Blanks. Very popular last week, and I know some of you think that I don't listen to your suggestions, but I do. I read them. I read them all. And sometimes I even take notice of them, and I will follow your suggestions. So yes, today we have it again. The wonderful super fill in the blanks. We also have Zudzika. Hello to you. Hello to Rubar. I am watching on the bus on my way home whilst I'm watching your live stream. I'm always interested to find out where you are watching and what you are doing. It is always interesting for me, being the person presenting at this end, to find out what you are doing at that end, where you are. So it's always interesting, you see. I always like to know what you are up to. Today, by the way, I don't want to forget this because I might get into trouble. Today is Remembrance Sunday. And this is where people gather and they remember those who died. Well, normally it's for the First World War, so the ending of the First World War. But to be honest, these days we often use Remembrance Day or Remembrance Sunday as a way of remembering all those who lost their lives during wars, past and, I suppose, present as well. And I noticed we were walking the other day, Mr. Steve and myself, and we noticed that some of the students from the nearby school here in Much Wenlock had made a lovely tribute as a way of marking Remembrance Day. Would you like to see it? Okay. The amazing thing is they are not actually flowers. They are poppies that have been made out of recycled plastic. It's amazing, but it is also true as well. So I thought that was a lovely gesture by the children of the local school here in Much Wenlock, and they did it as a tribute, as a way of commemorating Remembrance Sunday. Normally we have a ceremony on the 11th of November, but also we have a special ceremony in London and many places across the UK where people will lay wreaths to remember those who lost their lives during the war. And, well, I suppose over the years there have been many wars, and some of them are still going on today. So I thought that was a lovely gesture. Talking of lovely things, outside at the moment, oh my goodness, I really have to share this with you. We are having the most amazing autumn. We are heading towards winter at the moment. In fact, some people say that we have already arrived at winter. But look at that. That is the view outside, and it is 16 Celsius at the moment in mid-November. It's crazy. I can't believe it. How can this be real? So we are having some amazing weather at the moment. Here's another view. So that is the more familiar view from my studio window, and you can see everything is looking lovely today. Mr. Steve, by the way, has been outside. He will be showing us what he's been up to as well, because he's been very busy over the past couple of days planting his new trees in the garden, and he's feeling rather pleased with himself, to say the least. This is English Addict. Every Sunday we are here together live. I'm here, you're here, Mr. Steve will be with us. We also might have the sheep as well, and maybe the cows. In fact, something very funny happened in the garden yesterday. Mr. Steve was busy planting his trees, and he was also putting some new soil on top of the ground as well. And he had the soil in large plastic bags. But the strange thing was, every time Steve moved the bags, the sound that was made by the material moving around inside the plastic, it made the sheep go crazy, because they thought the farmer was nearby and maybe he was about to give them some food. So the sheep all came over to the fence where Mr. Steve was working, and it was hilarious. It was so funny. So suddenly there were about 30, maybe 35 sheep all by the fence at the back of the house. Sadly, I did not capture that moment on video, but it was hilarious, and I'm sure Mr. Steve will be talking more about that a little bit later on. Yes, we are here and we are talking all about English today. We have lots of things to talk about. We have the subject of neighbours. Good neighbours, bad neighbours. So I don't want to make this too depressing, to be honest. But I think it's very fair to talk about the annoying things that neighbours sometimes do. And they can be annoying, it's true. And I think Mr. Steve will definitely have something to say about that. I think he will. So last night we went out. We will talk more about this in a moment, but last night we went out for a meal and we were going to see a show as well. We actually went to the show, but unfortunately the meal did not go as planned. There were, to say the least, some slight problems, which we will be taking a look at in a few moments from now. And of course, Mr. Steve will be here as well. was trying to find some sheep, but I couldn't, unfortunately. Where are the sheep? Mr. Duncan, you don't have any sheep videos to show us today, which is a shame, really. But there you go. You can't have everything in this life. We are getting some really funny messages coming up concerning today's subject about neighbours. Claudia says, my neighbour used to have the annoying habit of throwing their cigarettes. So they would smoke their cigarettes and then they would throw them out of their window. And sometimes, of course, they would land on Claudia's balcony, or even worse, go into her window. We can't have that. That is not very neighbourly. That's not very nice behaviour. And then Claudia says, but they don't do it anymore because they are dead. Well, I suppose that's one way of stopping it. All I'm worried about now is that maybe Claudia is the person who is responsible for it. You didn't push him out of his window, did you? Because I'm getting a bit worried now. I'm getting concerned. So if you see any blue flashing lights outside your window, Claudia, all I can say is run. Run like crazy. Hello, Lemon Tree. Lemon Tree, I seem to remember your name. Have you been watching me in the past and have you decided to return? I wonder. It's interesting that. Hello, Lemon Tree. I'm sure I recognise your name. Hello also, Fun Junkie. Hello, Fun Junkie. That's a very interesting title you have there. That's a little bit similar to mine, English Addict. So you are addicted to having fun. I am addicted to the English language. And I have a feeling you might be as well, because that's the reason why you are here. Palmyra is also here. Nice to see you back where you belong. Luis Mendez is talking to Palmyra, asking about some of the chapels and talking about the Ottoman Empire. Of course, the Ottoman Empire was a very large empire that ruled the world right up until I think it was the early 20th century. Before, I think it was the First World War that disrupted their rule. But yes, the Ottoman Empire spread across from Turkey and quite a lot of Europe as well. And also the Middle East. Hello to Magdalena. Nice to see you here as well. Very nice to see you here. We have Mr. Steve coming up in a few moments. We are looking at annoying things that neighbours do a little bit later on. And of course, we will be playing our new game called Fill in the Blanks. All of that coming soon. Don't go away.
boy now.
You certainly are, Mr. Duncan, you certainly are. Here we are then, we are back together again, and yes, this is English Addict. And you know what is coming next. You know who is coming next. Here we go, and here he is.
Hello, Mr. Duncan. Phew, I've just got here by the skin of my teeth
Why?
because I've been busy. If you say you've got here by the skin of your teeth, it means you've just got there in time.
Wait, but you should know that you're wanted here.
Yes, but Mr. Duncan, I am wanted outside, I am wanted in the kitchen, I am wanted everywhere.
That's two places.
Yes, well, driving, you name it, I'm wanted, Mr. Duncan. I'm in demand. And I've literally just got here because I just remembered I've just remembered to get the meal on.
Just not wave that pen in my
Remember
face.
to get the meal on, Mr. Duncan. I've been doing that. It took me 10 minutes to throw everything into the slow cooker.
As usual, Steve has decided to do 20 things, almost forgetting that he's supposed to be here on the live stream. How could you forget this?
Hello, welcome. By the way, that smell is the cooking.
Yes. Well,
What's in the pot, Mr. Steve?
Only I can smell that. And it smells delicious. I can smell onions.
Onions, minced beef.
So we are having chili con carne.
We are.
Oh.
And it's on there on the slow cooker because if I had waited until after this live stream, we would not have had enough time for it to cook.
No, we would have had raw food.
Which we've never ever had before. But it's lovely to be here. And, but yes, and it's lovely to be outside in this gorgeous autumn weather in November where it's so warm. It must be 16 degrees out there today.
It doesn't feel like winter is approaching. It feels like summer is approaching. It's bizarre.
Well, last night we went out and Mr. Duncan,
Yes.
Mr. Duncan was only wearing a T-shirt top.
Yes.
No sleeves, just a T-shirt top because it was so warm in November.
Yes.
Freakish.
I suppose we should talk about what happened last night. Last night, to say that last night was a disaster,
An adventure.
well, I choose the word disaster.
Negative, positive.
Mr. Steve is choosing adventure.
Adventure.
We decided to go and see a show last night. First of all, I thought I was going to see Aladdin, because that is what is on at the theatre in Wolverhampton. Unfortunately, it wasn't. It was Peter Pan instead.
He knew it was Peter Pan.
I
He
didn't.
knew. Yes, you did.
I did not know.
Of course you did. Yes, of course you did. He's joking.
I'm not joking. I didn't know.
Well, you...
I asked you yesterday afternoon, what is it we're going to see? Because I couldn't remember. And you said Peter Pan. And I thought I was going to see Aladdin, you see. Aladdin, professional. Peter Pan, amateur.
Well, you knew we were going to see an amateur show, Mr. Duncan. I bought the ticket, so you shouldn't complain. I bought the ticket for you.
You did. £25 each.
£25.50.
That's crazy. For
Was expensive.
For just amateur. That's like the same price that you'd pay to go and see Cats.
Well, it was on at a professional theatre, so there's a lot of costs involved.
Yes.
I mean, they were using wires to fly in Peter Pan and the children, so that's expensive.
The only thing I found amusing, because a lot of it was on wire, so people were on wires, but I was waiting for one of them, hopefully one of the kids, to actually sort of just fall from the wire and go splat on the stage. I think that would have been interesting. That would have made everything a little bit more interesting. However, I'm jumping ahead. Because before then, we were going for an Indian meal. As you know, we all love food. Mr. Steve loves food. I like food. We like Indian food with our friend Martin,
who said he's going to be on today.
I haven't seen him yet.
We might well see him, yes.
But
so I booked it just to set the scene. I booked this a week ago. 6 o'clock, show starts at 7:30. We booked a curry for 6. Plenty of time.
Perfect.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, the first thing that went wrong was that Steve forgot or didn't realise
Nobody knew.
that there was a football match taking place in Wolverhampton.
Wolves were playing at home.
They were playing Arsenal.
And of course, you book these shows a long time in advance, weeks in advance. And we could only go Saturday night because that was the only night that our friend Martin could actually go. So we could only go Saturday night. Then we found out there was a match on. My immediate thought was the traffic will be a nightmare. But the traffic was the least of our worries.
Because we arrived in Wolverhampton and it was crowded full of people, not necessarily people who were sober, let's just say. A lot of people, when they go to see a football match, because it was an evening match, so the match hadn't even started when we arrived in town, but a lot of people were already drunk in the streets. So we went to the lovely Indian restaurant, we went in there and then realised quite quickly that it was going to be very busy in there.
Yes.
Because-
We had booked, don't forget.
Well, yes, we had booked. But there were thousands of people wandering the streets of Wolverhampton looking for a place to eat, and some of them came in to where we were sitting.
All the most drunkest, loudest football British fans you could imagine descending upon this lovely Indian restaurant that we had planned to have a lovely relaxing meal with before the show. Let's just say,
What?
well, it didn't go very well.
When you say let's just say, that there has to be something afterwards.
I was hoping you'd say something.
Well, it was a bit of a disaster. First of all, that we sat down at the table eventually and then realised, to our horror, that there was no food actually being served. You could give your order, but there was no food being served for 1 hour,
An hour. They told us an hour.
which was no good.
So we found out after spending 3/4 of an hour in there that the food wouldn't come for another hour, which would have meant we'd have missed the start of the show.
And to make things worse, I've got to move on, Steve.
Yes, that's fine.
To make things worse, they brought over a trolley with no food on the trolley. And I don't know why they did it, but we have a photograph to prove it as well. There it is. There I am, wondering why there is no food. They brought the trolley, but they didn't bring any food. Why?
Everyone was very disgruntled. They'd basically let too many people in and they hadn't got enough staff
Yes.
to serve everybody. So we walked out, basically.
But
And
I thought that was so funny. They brought the trolley over, and normally that should have lots of food on it.
there were lots of drunk football fans all abusing the staff. It was disgraceful, actually. Disgraceful behaviour.
Who would have thought football fans would be so horrible? Who would have thought it?
It was disgusting. The language, foul-mouthed, disgusting.
Yes.
And they were trying to demand tables and things like that. Anyway, we left and we had to eat we had to go.
And
We
wait
got
there,
a
Steve.
What?
There's a story. I've got something else to show. Steady.
Show away.
Do not spill the beans too quickly.
Well, we
I
don't want to
want-
bore people with our story.
I want to keep the viewers here by teasing them. Well, we went out last night with Martin and Mr. Steve and myself. We couldn't have a curry, so instead we went to the local corner shop where we got a sandwich. We had a sandwich each. Would you like to see the photograph of Mr. Steve, myself, and our lovely friend Martin? Now, if your mother was here now, she would ask if Martin is married.
She always asked that about any of our friends.
If we have a male friend that we're seeing or going out with, she would always ask, is he married? No,
Anyway,
mum.
won't go into that.
No,
Yes.
mother. He is not gay.
No.
Because that was your mum's way of asking.
Yes.
Oh, is he? Ooh.
Anyway, is it? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So here it is. Here's the photograph of us standing on the street in Wolverhampton on a busy Saturday night with thousands of drunk football fans all around us. And here's the photograph right now. I think that's brilliant.
There we are, eating on the streets. People were avoiding us. They were scared of us because we were eating on the streets. Because if you eat on the streets, people think you're a bit scary. So there we go.
Isn't that brilliant?
Yes.
So there we were last night, and the young handsome guy with the glasses, that's me, and then there's Steve in the middle, and then on the end, on the left, it's Martin. And we were all eating sandwiches. We had to have sandwiches. We couldn't have our curry. And you can't see the rest of the scene because there were hundreds and hundreds of drunk people all around us. So that's what happened last night. It didn't go very well.
It went even worse for Martin later because his car broke down on the way home. So he was stuck until gone midnight with a broken down car, having spent probably an hour trying to get off the car park because of all the football fans. We just, let's just say it was a bit different from our usual lives around this area. Somebody's asked, Wolverhampton is about 25 miles from here, 25 miles,
Well, yes.
probably about 30 kilometres, 35 kilometres, something like that.
So it takes about 40 minutes. If you
Yes.
travel from here to Wolverhampton, it's about 40 minutes.
That's where we used to live.
Yes.
But, well, I lived there for 30 years, over 30 years.
We don't live there anymore because basically, not to put too fine a point on it, it's not the nicest place in the world to
It certainly wasn't
live.
last night. But anyway, congratulations to Bilston Operatic, who put on quite a fantastic show. I mean, it's not necessarily a show that we would normally go to see, Peter Pan, but we were supporting them, and I thought they made a fabulous effort,
Full of
as
kids.
they always do.
Kids.
So congratulations.
I don't know why we went to see this because
to support them.
well, we could have just bought the tickets and not gone.
Well, we'd have had a less exciting night.
I'm just trying to make a point though. It's for kids. What were 3 grown adult men surrounded by screaming children?
That's what you do with it. What happens in amateur theatre?
Just didn't seem right.
What happens in amateur theatre is that people are all members of different societies, and you all go to see each other's shows. You sell tickets to friends in other societies, and they come to see you.
Yes.
And that's how it all works. That's
Yes.
how it all works.
Well, you can buy the tickets and just not go.
Yeah, but
Because you are still supporting them.
But yeah, I must admit, I was quite
Twen-
impressed.
25 quid each.
Anyway, yes, it's going up and up and up, Mr. Duncan.
Yeah, like Peter Pan was.
He was, yes. Well, yeah.
Yes. But I thought we were going to see Aladdin. You see, I thought Aladdin. I like Aladdin. I like having.
He's being rude.
I'm not. I'm not being rude. So there it was. That was our wonderful adventure last night in the metropolis of Wolverhampton. And to make
fun.
To make things worse, Wolverhampton Wanderers lost.
They did. They were, as they say, thrashed 2-0, I believe.
Well, fortunately, we weren't.
If you were thrashed, if a football team thrashes another team, or it just means that they beat them quite substantially.
Yes.
And very obviously, there was, they really do beat them.
Yes.
So I'm surprised there wasn't substantial violence. And when we came out, of
Well,
course,
there may have been. We may have missed it.
when we came out, they were all coming out of the football match. But luckily, we got home all right. So anyway, that's our boring story.
It's not boring.
It was exciting,
Yes.
different.
It was different. Well, I wouldn't even call it exciting. I just thought walking through the streets, we're surrounded by thousands of people who were not high up on the scale of being nice and social. That's all I'm saying. I can't wait until the World Cup starts. Can I just say, if you're watching in Qatar at the moment, you have no idea what you have let yourself in for. British, English, call them what you want, football fans. You have absolutely no idea.
The thing is, they'll find it difficult to get hold of alcohol.
Well, but the thing is, they will. because there are bars that will be open especially for the fans.
But maybe they won't be able to consume such large quantities as they do here.
They might ration the beer. They might only give so much beer to each fan.
Do we eat pork, says Pedro. Hello, Pedro. We do, yes.
Sometimes. I must admit, we don't eat pork that often.
For
For
no
no reason. It's not religious or moral. It's just that we don't eat it very often. We do
I
like
don't like it.
beef.
I've got a friend that cooks a lovely pork dish.
Okay.
It's like a curried pork with rice and beans. It's delicious. Lives in Birmingham. In fact, I'm going to go and see him to get that. He said next time I go to visit, he will specifically cook this meal for me.
Oh,
So sorry, any Muslims watching.
sorry?
We know you. You can't eat pork, but
And Jews.
we can. So
don't
it's
forget
fine
the
for us.
Jews.
Okay.
Jews also don't eat pork.
I didn't know that.
Yes, of course not. It's not kosher.
Right.
Or
okay,
fish.
Yes.
Or fish. Shellfish as well.
Slash.
To be honest with you, I don't like shellfish either.
Yes. Yes. It's thrash, not slash. Thrash.
My God.
THRASH.
The slashing is what happens after the match.
If you thrash somebody, yes, it means a heavy defeat. Yes, it means that they lose badly.
Yes.
And it's quite embarrassing.
The word thrash means just to hit or beat violently, but we can use it also figuratively to say defeat someone. Defeat someone. Like last night, Arsenal thrashed Wolverhampton Wanderers 2-0.
That's what that is what the press are saying. That is what commentators have said, that it was a very easy victory, and so that's it. That's not us saying that. That's the opinion of people that went to watch the match. They said that Wolves were thrashed because they should have at least scored something.
They're not having a good time, to be honest.
No, well,
Because they've just sacked most of their senior staff. So that's never a good sign. When that happens, it's never good. It's never good when that happens. You don't want to start sacking your staff if you are running a football team. Oh, big
Jimmy. Jimmy's an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
Been an Arsenal fan for 20 years. So Jimmy's pleased. My mum, God rest her soul, will also be pleased. She was an Arsenal fan as well. So she would be very pleased. I'm sure she was watching the match probably. She probably influenced it in some way.
I was just completely taken by surprise, you saying God rest her soul. It just seems like a very strange thing for you to say.
She was a believer, so...
Oh, yes, I'm not saying she wasn't. It's just you saying it just sounds funny.
I've got very religious since my mother has passed. Because you start to think about what could be afterwards.
Steve is determined to be with her forever and ever in eternity, which sounds good. It's brilliant. So Arsenal won, and Jimmy is a big fan of the Arsenal, as they say, up the Arsenal.
But I hope you celebrated last night. I wonder if you were able to watch the match. No, I doubt it. They're 8 hours ahead, probably 8 hours ahead in Hong Kong, aren't you? At least, probably, I would think. So, no, it would have been... Yeah, you might have been able to get up early and watch it, I guess. But anyway, I wondered if you did watch it, or whether you will be watching it on television recorded later.
Big news, by the way, from the United States.
Yes.
The Democrats have taken the Senate. So we weren't sure, or they weren't sure over there. Well, to be honest, we don't really care here because it's another country. But they've taken it. So a lot of people were saying it was not going to be taken. They were saying that the Republicans would steal it at the last moment, but they didn't. So Joe Biden is really happy at the moment. He's dancing around, having fun, thinking, yes, we've done it.
It's going to be gridlock, though, because they haven't got the other house, have they?
Oh, yeah.
House of Representatives. So they're not in control of that one. Or it doesn't look... Well, I don't think that one's fully decided yet. But if that one goes Republican, then it means gridlock in trying to set policies and things like that, because one side will vote for it and the other side won't, and they often happens in these midterms. Apparently, you get gridlock, so no party, the party in power, can't make any decisions and can't put any policies through properly. Gridlock, that means like cars being in gridlock. It means you can't move, you can't do anything.
Everything is just locked in one place.
Yes.
Nothing can move. There is no way that anything can move forward or even backwards, which might be a good thing when you think about it. It might be a good thing after all.
Well, let's hope they all start working together, and democracy will survive. Hopefully, this is a nice, good sign that democracy is still at least partially alive and well. There's one person who's very unhappy, though, isn't it? Donald Trump. He's very, very unhappy, already calling for re-elections and fraud and all that nonsense. So let's hope it all goes away and order is restored.
I think it's safe to say that
the largest democracy in the world.
I think it's safe to say that he is now a spent force.
Let's hope so.
Yes,
because we don't want that kind of.
Well, I think it is. I think
instability.
That's literally what everyone's saying today. They're saying
yes.
That's it. It's over. He just comes across now as a miserable old man. You have young blood coming up. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, only time will tell. So, to your adventure in the garden, Mr. Steve. Steve has been a busy little bee out in the garden. Yesterday and also all of last week, Steve has been planting his trees in the garden. How's it going?
It's finished. I've put the last 3 in today. And back-breaking work. I'm covered in mud. That's probably the smell. I'm covered in manure, covered in mud, sand, dirt, and but I've enjoyed it because I love doing anything like that, Mr. Duncan. You know I like going out in the garden. There I am, watering them. I've been doing it. We're hoping that these will shoot up 1 metre a year, and we will have shelter, let's say, or privacy from the neighbours. So yes, you'll have to do a shot of the finish. Look there, the old stumps from the old trees.
Yes.
You can see that in the middle there.
I have to say, the new trees look rather healthy.
They are a type of thuya, golden thuya, so they'll be nice and bright and light, and they turn a nice sort of orangey colour, goldeny colour in the winter, so they'll look different. I love conifers; they're my favourite plants. People always criticise conifers and say they're boring. I love conifers. I just love them. I always have done since a child.
So you can see them all there. How many in total?
18.
18. So you've been busy this week and you planted the last ones this morning.
Planted the last 3 this morning. Now all I've got to do is level the ground out, and I will then, at a set distance, I will grass the remaining area. And then we'll just sit back and wait.
Wait for them to grow.
Just wait for them to grow. Something very interesting happened with the sheep yesterday.
Yes, I mentioned this earlier. Briefly, I mentioned it when you were emptying the bag with some of the soil inside, some of the compost, and the sheep went crazy. They thought you were the farmer bringing them food, and suddenly the sheep all came running to the fence, didn't they?
Yeah, because I was mixing soil to put the plants in, to bed the soils in with. And you have to I have to empty these packets of little grit. I wanted to mix grit with the soil so that it's good for drainage. But every time I shook this packet of grit, the sheep were getting very excited.
They all came over and
just herded over towards the fence because they thought that's the same sound they hear when the farmer gives them whatever type of feed. They sometimes go out and shake packets of feed onto the ground.
Yes.
Whatever it is, the cattle love it.
Especially this time of year because there is very little grass left. So the farmer is now coming regularly to bring them food. And they thought Mr. Steve yesterday was the farmer. But he wasn't. He was just planting his trees. But it was so funny seeing and also hearing them. They were going mad.
Every time. They disappeared completely from the field. I couldn't see them yesterday at one point, and I thought, I know, I can mix this soil now. And I just shook the bag, and they all came running down from somewhere.
It was amazing.
It was amazing, yes. But they soon got bored and went off when they realised I hadn't got anything for them.
Yes. Didn't they come this morning?
Yes.
Yes, they came over this
They came
morning.
this morning, yes.
They didn't seem quite as excited. I think they've realised now that they have no reason to get excited.
I'm crying wolf, they must be saying. He's crying wolf, which is the last thing they want to see is a wolf.
Here is something exciting, Steve, because
What?
we have our new contest, our new game,
Oh,
Fill in the Blanks, coming a little bit later on. But first of all, we are going to talk about a subject that I know is very close to your heart.
conifers,
And very
Shirley Bassey,
very,
Ford Mustangs.
very close to my heart, but also sometimes it makes you a little annoyed and angry. We are talking about neighbours today.
Oh,
Neighbours. I think I mentioned this to you yesterday. We will talk about things that neighbours do that can be annoying.
mentioning no names.
Claudia said earlier that one of her I wish I could speak. One of her neighbours used to throw cigarettes that they'd finished. So they would smoke their cigarette and they would throw it out the window, and sometimes it would land on her balcony or go into her window. And she said he doesn't do it anymore because now he's dead.
From the smoking, probably.
Well, I was worried at first. I thought maybe Claudia had gone up and done Charles Bronson.
Alessandra
Yes.
says that aren't the plants too close together? Well, I'm forming a hedge. No, they're not. Because depending on how high you want it, determines the distance you put them apart. So I've set them 60 centimetres apart because I want them to be just over around 3 metres tall, and that is the correct distance for that. If they were going to grow, like 10 metres, then yes, they would have been wider apart. But I need a lowish hedge, so you have to put plants closer together for that to form a nice, neat hedge.
Yes. It should look nice.
According to everything I've read, that's what I've done.
It should look very nice in around 2030.
Yes.
So join us in 2030, 8 years from now, and we will have the most amazing trees, a lovely bush, a lovely row of trees, hiding all of those horrible, stinky neighbours.
Magdalena says, where did I get the soil from? I bought it from a local garden centre. So obviously you dig out the soil to put the pot in from the hole. You use that, and then I mix it with some mulch, peat type stuff, rotted down vegetation, but also some grit as well to help with drainage. I got that all from the local garden centre.
Talking of neighbours and talking of growing trees to block the neighbours out.
We like blocking the neighbours out.
Because sometimes, let's face it, sometimes neighbours can be annoying. And that's what we're talking about now. Annoying things neighbours do. And let's face it, Steve, the list is quite long.
Isn't it everything? Isn't everything your neighbour does annoying automatically? Because you don't really want to have neighbours, really, do you? Most people, I don't know, maybe people love neighbours. Maybe it's just us that are anti-people.
I think sometimes people do like being near other people, but maybe not all the time. And I think that is the line, isn't it? There is a line that you draw. I like people, but I wouldn't like to be with lots of people all the time. However, if you live near people, sometimes they can be annoying. And that's what we're looking at. Annoying things that neighbours do.
Vitas has waded in already with something annoying. Well, he hasn't said it's annoying, but I'm guessing it is. My neighbour, or is it a joke?
I think it's a joke.
Ah, right.
What the joke basically is my neighbour just got arrested for growing weed and I guess that my property line isn't where I thought it was. Of course, the inference or the suggestion is that Vitas himself was the one growing the weed.
Oh.
That's what I think. So the joke is the police got the wrong person.
Well, there's something that's often contested between neighbours is the property line.
The boundary.
The boundary or the property line. And there have been, in this area where we live, problems with neighbours pinching or allegedly stealing a few inches of ground
Yes.
to put fences in.
Apparently farmers often do this.
Farmers often do this, apparently.
Allegedly.
I don't know.
I don't want to upset the farmers because they all own guns.
Somebody puts a new fence in, and what they do is they move it a few inches or a foot further onto the neighbour's property.
Yes.
And then arguments can start because of boundary. What's the word I'm looking for?
Disputes.
Boundary disputes. Property line.
Yes. So it can happen. And I never argue with anyone who has a licence for a firearm. I've always found that a good thing in life. Never upset anyone.
Sue Cat's here.
Hello, Sue Cat. Nice to see you here. How's your lovely garden going?
Well, this is what Sue Cat is saying.
Oh.
I love not having neighbours near to my house. Well, you see, this is my dream, Mr. Duncan. I know it's nice here.
You are lucky.
I know it's nice here, Mr. Duncan, but it's my dream to one day, from the profits, obviously, from your YouTube channel, to invest it in a property with at least 10 acres of ground around us. So I don't want to be able to see, smell, hear anybody.
What are you saying? Are you saying our neighbours are very smelly?
And I shall plant conifers of all different varieties everywhere. And that is my plan down the line. But of course, not working at the moment, that's going to it's not going to help my plans to fund our lifestyle out in the country, surrounded by acres of land with no neighbours. So we'll just go and move in with Sue Cat instead.
Yes, we'll just go and move in. Maybe you can build a tree house
Yes.
at the bottom of your garden, and we can live in that. That sounds like fun to me. I can do that, no problem. But having said that, I would rather be here than where we were last night in Wolverhampton. I'd forgotten how awful it is having lots of people around you, a busy place, noisy, lots of pollution, and then suddenly we arrived back here last night and we had lovely, fresh Shropshire air again.
Except I didn't this morning.
It was lovely.
Because somebody had decided while I was outside,
I know what you're going to say.
they had decided to light a fire in their garden.
This is on our list, by the way.
A bonfire.
We are actually starting our... Shall we do the list?
Oh, well, we can do, yes. I'm lucky, says Lewis. My neighbours are good and pleasant. Well, that's it, you see. If you get nice neighbours, then it doesn't matter where you live. It's so wonderful. If you've got neighbours you get on with, and they respect you, you respect them, they respect your space, your air, everything. And that's nice. And you can talk to them and,
Yes.
So I'm glad that you've got good neighbours, Lewis.
So here we go. Let's have a look at our lists, shall we? Lots of things. Maybe you would like to add your own thoughts and comments to the list. Here is the first one, Steve. You're going to love this. Straight away, I can see Mr. Steve. His face is going to change.
Loud music, yes.
Loud music.
Not something that we suffer from here.
Not here, but in the past we have.
It is apparently one of, if not the number one cause of neighbourhood disputes. People phoning up the council complaining about their neighbours. This is, I think, top of the list. People playing loud music into the wee hours of the night or the morning.
The wee hours, into the early morning.
If you say the wee hours, it means 1, 2, 3 o'clock.
4 o'clock rock.
Wee means small, so the wee hours, I think it's probably Scottish, I don't know. But yes.
Yes, wee just means small in Scottish terms.
That's it. So the wee hours means early hours of the morning. The 1s, the 2s, the 3 o'clocks.
The 4s, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock rock, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock rock. We're going to rock around the clock tonight.
I don't think there can be anyone who has not had a neighbour that has annoyed them by playing loud music. I would say that at some point in your life, you're going to live near a neighbour that plays loud music or has lots of parties. Well, parties you can excuse. You see, this is the thing.
Well, as long as it's not every weekend.
Have you got Have you got that as a specific thing?
Well, play loud music is sort of in there.
Yeah. So people have parties. Obviously, people have birthdays. People get married. They want to celebrate certain things. As long as, if the neighbour comes round, knocks on your door, or puts a note through the door and says, "Oh, just to let you know, we're having a party, on Saturday. Apologise in advance. There's going to be some loud music, but we'll make sure that by midnight it's finished."
Yes.
Something that's showing respect.
Yes.
You understand. People want to have a party. People want to do things. That can't be a killjoy and stop people having fun. Just if people come to you and just tell you what they're going to do, that's and you're not bothered then because you can make other plans. You can say, well, the neighbours they might even invite you to the party.
Yeah, that's it. That's the way of making everything all right.
That's the way.
You say we're having a party tomorrow night. There'll be lots of wine and beer and food. You could come and pop in if you like, and then it makes it nicer. It makes it a little bit more friendly.
But even if they don't want you there, at least they've told you. And you can make other plans if you don't want to be in while they're having that party. It's the same if people decide they want to have building work. Or
again.
Right, okay.
I don't know how Steve does this, but I've spent all morning preparing this. Look, we have the live chat. I play the saxophone and the electric bass, but my neighbours do not complain. Well, maybe they're just in their houses all with their fingers in their ears going,
maybe they're plotting revenge.
I wish she would stop playing her saxophone and her bloody music all the time. Like that. Maybe.
They're plotting revenge because what happens is even if the neighbours are not saying anything, they could be seething. It could be all boiling away. They could be getting more and more angry. And then one day they'll do something.
Yes. Maybe they just enjoy the sound of your musical instrument. Maybe you have a lot of sax appeal.
Oh. Mr. Duncan.
You see, Vitas, I can do jokes as well.
Yes. But anyway, yes, but you don't want to be a killjoy. Everybody has a party from time to time. Everybody does things, they have to do certain things that might cause a disturbance. But as long as you are told, then it's not a problem for me.
I think that's a good expression as well. If someone is a killjoy, it means they are a person who always likes to spoil or ruin other people's fun and enjoyment. Here's another one, Steve. Oh dear. I definitely know that you are going to enjoy this one. Steve. The next one is...
I think barking dogs annoys you more than me. But yes. Yeah, that's it. And of course, in England, everybody's got a dog. Probably in other countries, I don't know.
It seems, here, definitely. It seems everyone now, every person, every member of the population of England has at least 2 dogs on average. We are very unusual and strange.
We are. People think we're strange.
They think we are very weird because we do not have a dog. We don't. We go out and we walk and we don't have to worry about a dog or dogs chasing other people or jumping up on them and getting mud all over their lovely nice clothes. So dogs.
Or killing you by biting your throat out.
Yes.
Which happens several times a year.
Yes.
To people. Only recently somebody in the UK, because somebody had a dog that wasn't on the lead and it attacked this man who was just walking through the park and killed him.
Yes,
And-
didn't it tear his throat out?
Yes, every year this happens. Somebody's dog is loose, and I would say at least 2 or 3 people
And
get killed by other people's dogs that are not being controlled.
And you know what they say? They always say, "Oh, he's never done that before. He's never ripped anyone's throat out before. It's very unusual. He doesn't normally do that."
Yeah, but they're animals, so they can react at any time.
Yes.
So yeah, dogs are fine. They're under control, it's just. I think it's all about respect. It should all come down to respect. If you're living next door to somebody else, you should do unto others as you would wish to be done to you.
My goodness.
Uh,
It's quoting the Bible now.
is that from the Bible?
It is from the
idea.
Bible, yes.
Well, that's it. And then everybody gets on with everybody else. And, respect is due, respect is shown. And then everyone has a lovely, happy life.
You just need a bit of respect.
That's it.
RESPECT. Find out what it means to me.
And then, but unfortunately, you often get neighbours who think that they've got to try and assert themselves because they want to they want to dominate an area that they're in, and they just think that the way to do it is to intimidate and annoy people because they think, if we let our dog bark, if we have parties and don't tell anyone, we're going to push ourselves out like that, and they'll just have to put up with it.
There are some neighbours who just enjoy being a pain in the arse. Let's
Yes.
face it. There are some neighbours who just enjoy it. They just like annoying people. So barking dogs. Sukat says, "I'm annoyed when people walk their dog without having any lead." Yes, can you believe it? We have sheep and cattle at the back of our house. And there are still people, the occasional idiot that walks with their dog, and they don't even have it on a leash.
Despite the fact there are signs everywhere, and everyone around here would know the country code,
Yes.
which is dogs must be on a lead.
It's the
in a
most
public
basic
place,
rule.
particularly walking through a farmer's field, somebody else's field that they are allowed to walk through. The farmer has allowed them to walk through.
Yeah.
But actually, they don't even respect the farmer's land by keeping their dogs on a lead.
Yes.
Or sticking to the footpath.
Oh, we have had situations in the past. We've had 2 sheep in the past killed by someone's dog. So it has happened right here at the back of our house. It has happened in the past.
Yes.
And it's always some idiot who says, "Oh, it's okay. Our dog, it never attacks sheep." But as I always say, there is a first time for everything. Barking dogs. Oh,
There we
dear.
go. Yes, people have said that. So, yes.
That's a good one. Here's another one, Steve. This is just for you. Oh, Steve.
Oh, Magdalena's mentioned a good one, but yes, we'll mention
that's
that
okay.
one. No, Magdalena has said, I bet this is one you haven't got on your list. What she's referring to is the fact that she has... how do you make electricity with the sun? Can't think what they're called now.
Solar panels.
Solar panels, that's it. Photovoltaic cells. Solar panels is what we would commonly call those. And the neighbour's tree casts a shadow over them. So therefore, obviously, they're not making as much electricity as they used to. So yes, the neighbour should be cutting down trees that are too tall, which is probably another thing to mention. Neighbours who grow trees, is that on your list?
Sorry, I'm getting confused. What's the annoying thing, though?
Well, the annoying thing is that Magdalena can't make as much electricity from
I see.
her solar panels because the neighbour has let the tree grow very tall.
Couldn't you put them on your roof?
Well, it must be very tall.
Wow, that tall?
Well, we couldn't put them on our roof because the neighbour has a very, very tall tree, which is twice as tall as the house.
Yes, well, we have.
Which would also cause...
We've got Wenlock Edge. We could ask Shropshire Council if they can take Wenlock Edge away. But they won't. I'm pretty sure they won't.
Yes, and of course it makes them less efficient. So you spent all that money. It's annoying. Yes, you can kill the tree. I know somebody who goes around killing trees for neighbours.
Okay.
They inject poison into the bark or something, and it kills the tree. That's something you could think about, Magdalena.
Who was that then?
I'm not going to say who it is, obviously. No, I know. My sister knows somebody as well who killed their neighbour's trees, went out at night and injected into the bark some poison.
There are people. You know what? I always like to think that I'm never surprised by human behaviour. There are people that go around. You can pay people to murder trees.
Yes, apparently.
Tree assassins.
The only trouble is, of course, if the tree dies and they don't have it removed, there's the risk that in a storm it might blow down and demolish a house.
I just think that's so funny.
Yeah.
A hitman for trees. Anyway, another one, Steve. This is nice that you'll like this one.
Lighting a bonfire. Yes, so it's autumn at the moment, and all the leaves are falling off the deciduous trees. People rake them up, and then what should you do with leaves? Well, really, you should compost them.
Yes.
Leaves make fabulous compost. You should sort of lay them on your sort of flower beds and let the worms do what they do, coming up, pulling the leaves under. But around here, a lot of people like to burn the leaves, which creates vast plumes of smoke.
Yes, because the leaves normally are damp.
And damp,
and as you
yes.
know, if you burn anything that's damp, it produces twice as much smoke. It's why do you burn leaves? Can someone give me a good reason why you would decide to burn leaves? It's not as if they're radioactive. It's not as if they will kill all of your garden. In fact, in many cases, Steve, I think leaves would be good for the garden.
Leaves are brilliant for the garden. You don't want them on the lawn because they'll rot the grass. But rake them up. I did that last year because we get a lot of leaves blowing over from the neighbour's tree.
Oh dear!
And piles of them. I got about 4 great big green binfuls of them last year. But I don't mind because I can put them on my garden. And then after 6 months or so, they've vanished into the soil. The worms have done their business, come up and pull them all in, and it feeds all the plants. So and it stops the weeds growing as well.
It's the most natural thing that could happen, and yet there seem to be some people around here, and maybe where you live, who take all of the leaves, and for some reason they decide to have long, slow bonfires.
Some people just like burning things.
Yes.
Some people just love burning things, which is fine. But then if you're outside, you're having to breathe in all that smoke.
Yes, all the time. The last 3 or 4 days, people have been doing it.
Yes. I know. It actually got on my chest a bit.
Why?
This morning I was outside and there was a neighbour a few doors down had a billowing fire, and I could feel it, the smoke on my chest, which is not very good, particularly if you've got asthma and things like that. There's no need to burn it anyway because we have the refuse collectors. We have a green bin you can put all your garden waste into, and they'll come and collect it for you.
But leaves are brilliant. They just make a little pile of leaves and leave them, and then suddenly you've got lovely mulch or compost.
Apparently nut tree leaves. I mean, what nut tree is that, Magdalena? Not good for compost.
Maybe all of them. But don't most trees produce nuts?
No.
Well, you know what I mean.
Seeds,
Yes.
What kind of a nut is it, Magdalena? We would like to know. I'm always interested.
You've got a couple of nuts here.
Yeah.
Here's another one, Steve.
Okay.
Home improvements.
Oh, right.
Everyone's had this. A neighbour who decides to do some building work in their house, and they decide that they're going to do it from very early in the morning until very late at night. And there you are, trying to sleep, trying to relax and someone is banging, boom, 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 or sawing, or using some electric drill.
Do we need the sound effects, Mr. Duncan?
Well, yes, I've been practicing them all morning. I thought my saw was very good.
Well, again, you don't mind as long as you know in advance that the neighbour is going to do that, and then you can plan to be out, or you can say, well, that's fine, the neighbour's told me, that's okay. It diffuses the situation.
Yes. But most neighbours don't.
They don't bother, they just think, I'm going to do it.
I'm just going to bang away until the early hours of the morning. Bang, 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 bang.
Dudika has said, I think this is a joke. Last holiday, a dog bit me. Fortunately, it's not caught any sickness. I'm hoping that's a joke. And I'm hoping you didn't get bitten by a dog when you were on holiday. Because what's the first thing you think of if you get bitten by a dog on holiday?
I turn into a werewolf.
Close.
Oh.
Rabies.
Oh, yes. Rabies. Do we still have rabies?
Oh, we do indeed.
You never hear of it, do you?
Tens of thousands of people die every year from rabies.
During the 1970s, it seemed like everyone who came back from holiday was foaming at the mouth because they all had rabies. But you never really hear of it anymore. Anyway. But
that's not something to do with neighbourly disputes, really. Catching rabies off your neighbour.
No, unless your neighbour bites you.
And is foaming at the mouth at the same time.
Home improvements can be annoying, especially when someone changes their house in a big way. And I think this is a common dispute nowadays, Steve, because lots of people, especially those who want to make their house look different from all the rest, they want to have lots of extravagant building work to change the shape or the size of their house. So quite often that does cause disputes.
Lemon Tree says, there we go. You see, because you could have your windows could be open. You could have washing hanging out. And, your washing, you'll have to redo your washing. The smell will come in the house. It's not good for your chest, particularly if you've got, chest problems.
Yes.
But there you go. Yes, it's. I feel as though we're moaning today, Mr. Duncan.
Francesca says, I wonder why when my neighbour begins their home improvements in the morning at 8 o'clock and they finish as soon as I wake up. Well, that can also be annoying. Well, maybe you can sleep later when they're not doing it. But I know what you mean. These things can be annoying, especially when they are using noisy machines. Here's another one, Steve. Maybe something that we've all done from time to time. I think we've done it as well. And maybe we have been annoying the neighbours without even realising. Arriving home late at night.
Right, yes.
Maybe you come home in your car.
Rev up the engine.
Yes, or you make noise. Maybe you have to open the garage door and it makes a lot of noise as you're opening it. Or maybe you get out the car with some of your friends and they're all drunk and you're all shouting loudly.
You could have a neighbour that works nights. And comes back late at night. Oh, no, comes back, say, in the early hours of the morning after their shift. You're fast asleep, 4 a.m, and the neighbour comes back from their night shift and wakes you up with their car or motorbike.
Very annoying.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I mean, that's happened. People around here have been complaining about that.
Can I say hello to Y Guy? Hello, Y Guy. Mr. Duncan, please say my name. Please call my name. Hello to Y Guy. So there.
Walnuts. Magdalena, walnuts.
Same to you.
Fancy having a tree. Do you get free nuts off the tree, is what I want to know.
Yes.
Walnuts are very good for you, apparently, for your cholesterol. They give me indigestion, so I don't eat walnuts, but apparently they're very good. Somebody around here's got a walnut tree.
Have they?
Yes, I think they took it down and it annoyed the neighbours because it was on a public footpath and they used to go and collect the walnuts for Christmas, but apparently they've destroyed it.
I've never seen a walnut tree.
No, I don't know what it looks like.
I mean, I can imagine the tree, But I've never seen walnuts actually growing on a tree. I don't like walnuts. It's like eating bark. It's like eating the outer surface of a tree. So here's another one, Steve. You mentioned this. Having a noisy car or motorcycle. And this can happen, again. You mentioned night shifts. Maybe a person who has to leave the house very late at night and come back in the early morning, and they have a noisy car or a motorcycle. Motorbikes do tend to be noisy, even if it is just a low-powered motorcycle, because the engine is on the outside. There's nothing hiding the sound of the engine. So motorcycles do quite often cause a lot of disturbance. I think so.
Here's one for people that maybe live in flats.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe live in a block of flats, somebody above you.
An apartment.
That somebody, particularly if they've got, say, hard floors and not carpet, could be walking around in high heels.
Oh.
Or they could have a dog or something like that. And you can hear the sounds coming through the ceiling.
A dog wearing high heels.
Well,
it's very kinky. It's very kinky.
Well, it's... Yeah, so, that can be annoying. We've had that on holiday.
Yes.
When somebody was clearly doing exercises in the apartment above us.
Well, we assume it was
It
exercises.
was always at the same time, like something like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, a lot of sort of bum 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 bum, and it would get faster and faster, and then suddenly would stop.
It's like a skipping rope or something like that.
And the person doing the exercise must have been really relieved to finish their exercise, because they would let out a loud moan. I assume.
There we go.
I assume they were exercising.
Fights. Neighbours having fights, rowing. Maybe again you live in a flat or an apartment, and you can hear the neighbours rowing through the walls.
Yeah, we once heard our neighbours arguing next door, and we went round and we said, "Could you please shout a bit louder, because we can't hear you. We're trying to listen at the wall, but we can't quite hear you. So could you please shout at each other a little louder so we can hear you?" Because we used to have neighbours, and the husband. I'm not making fun of this, but he was quite nasty. He was always shouting and screaming at his wife and calling her all sorts of names. And we used to all listen by the wall. You could get a glass. If you get a glass,
Does that work?
yes, it does. And put it on the wall, and you can actually hear what they're saying. And some of it was really nasty. He wasn't actually a very nice person. He's dead now. Another one, Steve. It's very sort of. Here's another one, Steve. Oh,
Have we got a section on lovely things that neighbours do?
not really.
Okay.
Well, it's annoying things. It's just
Annoying things.
Do you like that? I spent ages making that look like the roof of a house. So I don't know if anyone's noticed that's what I've done, but that's actually a roof of a house, and also that is also the roof of a house. So I'd like to just say that I spent a very long time getting all of those letters at a different size to create that lovely effect. About 35 minutes it took
Well
me.
done. Well, what a waste of
So-
time, Mr. Duncan.
No, it's not a waste of time now, because everyone knows that I look at all the effort I put in to that. You see? Here's another one. Oh, you'll like this one, Steve. Your mother used to have problems with this particular thing. Nosy, intrusive, busybody.
Could we add gossips to that? Somebody mentioned gossiping neighbours before.
Yes, I suppose so. But these are people who are always watching you. They're watching what you're doing. And your mum used to have that problem, didn't she, with one of her neighbours? And she would meet her neighbour. Your mum would meet her neighbour, and the neighbour would tell your mum what your mum does.
Oh, I noticed that.
Your curtains.
Yes, on about the curtains. Oh, you close your curtains early, don't you? She used to say to my mother, or she would say, she could, see in through the windows and would say, "Oh, what time do you have? Do you always have breakfast at that time?"
Yes.
Or
Well, when we visit. Oh, there were people there the other day.
did you have visitors the other day?
Who were they? Is that your son and his very attractive lover?
Staring neighbours. I mean, people always. You always have a little sneaky look at what the neighbours are doing.
Yes.
But you don't necessarily tell them.
But these are people who take it to another level.
You don't actually let on to your neighbour that you have been looking by actually talking about the very things they were doing. Oh, you had some people came round the other day. Is that family, is it?
Oh. I noticed you had some new furniture
Yes.
delivered. A new sofa. What happened to the other one? Was it worn? Did you stain it? Did you have an accident in the night? So nosy, intrusive, busybodies. They're always watching. They've got binoculars. Some of them have got their binoculars and they're watching.
Unbelievable.
Imagine doing that.
Imagine doing that. Particularly if your house is higher up than other neighbours and
Yes.
you've got that advantage. That would be a disgraceful thing to do, Mr.
It would be
Duncan.
disgraceful
It
if
would be.
you lived in a place, I don't know, say as high as our house, because our house is above everyone else. And imagine if we did that. Imagine if I used to stand, or I would stand. Imagine it.
Well, but you're often looking at the birds. People, if they saw you, would misinterpret that.
Yes.
And you're often looking at birds in other people's trees
Yes.
in their gardens because
Yes.
you can see something interesting going. But if they were to see you,
Yes.
they might think you were looking at them
Yes.
and
Well,
misinterpret it and then send their husband round to shout at you.
Well, certainly in early spring, one of my neighbours came round and said, "We saw you looking through the binocular," and I was saying, "I was just admiring the tits,"
Yeah,
and he punched me.
that's a joke for Vitas.
Is it?
Of course, you were referring to the blue tits or any other type of tit, a certain bird.
I was talking about his wife in the shower. Here we go. Here's another one, Steve. Would you like another one? So
Go on.
we've had intrusive neighbours who.
You mean before we play the not the sentence game?
No, is that what it's called?
I haven't seen.
We will be playing not the sentence
I haven't
game.
seen Tomek
Steve.
today. Maybe he's coming on at the end because he
Okay.
knows that's when we play the is it the word game? What are you
No.
calling it now?
Fill in the blanks.
Fill in the blanks. Sentence game.
No, it's
Calling on Tomek.
fill
Sentence
in the
game.
blanks.
Sentence game. Let's see if we can get Tomek to come on.
Here we go. Neighbours that are ignorant and selfish. So this is a short one. This is a quick one. People who, I think a lot of neighbours do not want to talk to their next door neighbours, and they often pretend not to see them. It's happened to us. I know it has. We've had neighbours who've seen us and then they run into the house or they hide somewhere so they can't see us. I mean, I would imagine, can you imagine living near us? You would want to see us every day.
We're lovely neighbours.
Yes, we are the best neighbours.
We don't make any noise.
We don't
We
make
don't
any
fuss. We don't light fires. We are ideal neighbours.
We have no dogs.
We don't have dogs.
No pets.
No children.
No children.
Nobody ever comes to visit us. We don't have parties.
Okay then, Steve. Suddenly we sound quite sad.
We are ideal. We're ideal
Yeah,
neighbours.
Yes. Yeah.
People should be lucky that they've got us, because what happens if we sold up one day
Yeah.
and sold it to a large family? They've got 6 dogs,
Yes.
cats. They were always having parties.
Are they like burning things all the time?
We want respect. Respect.
Yes, give us respect. But can you imagine being our neighbour? I would imagine a lot of people would pay anything just to say that they live next door to us.
But I think sometimes if you don't make any noise and you don't make any disturbance, you don't have parties, you don't play music, you don't have a loud car, you don't have dogs, I think sometimes neighbours think that you're a bit, we can do anything to them, they're
Yes.
not going to complain.
They're very good at spotting weakness.
Yes, I think they think that you're weak and then you won't react, so they think they can get away with doing even more. But I'll only be pushed so far, Mr. Duncan, then I snap.
Yes, then Mr. Steve becomes quite violent. He will give you a nasty slap across your face.
Naked neighbours.
Naked. See, now that is something I probably wouldn't mind. It depends on the neighbour. So maybe you would like to see one of your neighbours in the garden having a little sunbathe, au natural.
It depends on what they look like, of course.
Yeah. You normally have a good idea what they look like naked. If you see someone, you don't have to really undress them to know what they look like naked. You normally have a pretty good idea whether everything underneath those clothes
most men wouldn't
is something you might enjoy.
Wouldn't complain if the the wife, attractive wife next door, was to be sunbathing,
Yes.
topless in the garden or on their flat roof. I think most men would be quite happy with that.
They would. I wouldn't.
See, it would be, for us it would be
The handsome mechanic.
it might make us sick, but
Yes.
that exactly. So but that.
Okay. Here's another one.
Michael says I've got a gorilla.
Yes.
A
okay.
gorilla? Is that true, or are you joking with us, Michael?
Well, you can't own a gorilla. That's impossible. It's first of all, I think you'll find it's illegal.
I don't know where Michael is.
You don't own gorillas, Steve.
Do you live in a mountain rainforest or something like that?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you don't own a gorilla. I need proof. I need a picture of you with your gorilla and also a copy of today's newspaper, and to prove that you actually own a gorilla. Otherwise, I'm not going to believe you. I think you are lying.
Oh, Ricardo says, my neighbours are the best. I live next to a cemetery.
That's it.
That would be an ideal place to live, wouldn't it?
Yes.
As long as you weren't scared of cemeteries or connotations with dead people and
what's going to happen?
Ghouls. Well, it depends on how far. But that would be ideal, wouldn't it? Yes.
I think it's perfect.
All you've got is people quietly coming to visit their long lost dead relatives. So they're not going to have parties. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we've got. That's it, Mr. Duncan.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, we could just buy a church.
Ricardo, we're going to live next to a cemetery.
Because no one goes to church anymore. All these empty churches all around the country, you can buy one and you could have your own. Well, you just keep the bodies and the cemetery. And that's it. It's perfect. In fact, we have a saying quite often. It's like a graveyard in here. If somewhere is really quiet, you might say, it's like a graveyard in here. Well, imagine if you actually did live in a graveyard, how quiet it would be. It would be completely dead.
Do you really live next door to a cemetery, Ricardo, or is that a Vitas-style joke? I think you're being serious because there's no emoji afterwards that would suggest that it was a joke.
Talking of Vitas, help. Please, my neighbour who tested positive for COVID, please keeps knocking on my door. I am avoiding him like the plague.
Vitas, I think you're trying to break all records today with the most number of jokes that you can put on in one live stream.
I'm not quite sure if COVID is a good theme for a joke, but yes, we understand.
I mean, children. Yeah, right.
Children.
Oh, you've got that. That's the next one I was about to mention.
There it is.
Yes.
Children. Possibly the worst thing ever to happen to humanity ever was when Adam and Eve, not Duncan and Steve, Adam and Eve, they picked that apple off the tree. The snake was going, ooh, try the snake. Try it. Try the apple. It's ever so nice. And they did, and now we have kids all the time. And they can be annoying, especially when they're playing outside your house with the ball, and the ball keeps going in your garden, and you have to keep throwing it back. Or maybe they are screaming and shouting.
I knew somebody, in fact, it was my mother. She had somebody that was a neighbour that played ice hockey. And they used to practice in their garden with the hockey stick and the pucks. They call them pucks, don't they? They're sort of round, hard, sort of rubber pucks that they use.
They're like discs.
Discs. and they used to practice in their back garden, and but they would keep coming over. They'd miss the net, and they would fly over and hit against the wall of the house, and it used to, my mother didn't like that.
No.
And Mum went out once into the garden to put something into the bin, and one of these pucks flew right past her head. She nearly got hit by them, so she had to complain about that. And they sort of stopped for a while. This is what happens, isn't it, when you complain to a neighbour? They're sort of initially a bit shocked, so they stop doing it.
Yes.
But then they start doing it again later because they get emboldened. They think, well, I can do what I like.
Yes.
Why should I stop doing that thing that's annoying my neighbour?
You have to be careful when you start these things as well. When you complain to a neighbour, you have to make sure that, first of all, you have to make sure the person will not beat you up or attack you. So always pick on someone very frail or maybe overweight and they can't chase you down the road, something like that. But kids can be very annoying. What's more annoying than children playing is adults who are with their children, and the adults are just as noisy as the kids. Oh, come on. Oh, get on the swing. Oh, go on. Scream as loud as you can.
I think sometimes when we were growing up, children were, certainly when my parents were growing up, children were seen and not heard.
It is true.
It was seen as a very bad thing to do, to let your children scream and shout in public. But not anymore.
Now they do anything.
Now that's right. And I mean, probably it was too austere back in the days when my parents were growing up, because, children were very much sort of too downtrodden, I think.
Yes.
But when we grew up, we were always told, not to play too loudly, not to annoy the neighbours.
Yeah.
My mum and dad would come out and say, be quiet, if you were making too much noise. But I don't think they often bother now.
No, I have to be honest.
It's almost like if my let's see how much noise we can get my children to make.
Yes.
It's almost like an aggressive sort of move.
Well, they're just so proud that their son or daughter was able to put a long thing into a hole, and that's it.
Oh, how crude, Mr. Duncan.
It's not crude. But they seem so proud of them, and it's a very basic thing. Here we go.
That is true.
It is another thing.
There are 8 billion of us now. We mentioned that last week.
Yes, and apparently by 2030 there will be 10 billion people on the planet.
Was it 2050? 2030, was it?
No, I think they're saying 2030 now.
All right.
Yes,
okay.
Everyone keeps having babies. Not returning a borrowed item. We all know this one.
Ooh, that's a good one, Mr. Duncan. We haven't seen that on the...
Straight out onto the field.
Or returning it, but it's damaged.
Yes, it can happen. But I think more commonly, a neighbour will come round and they will borrow something from you.
Like a lawnmower.
A lawnmower, or maybe a garden tool, maybe a spade or a pair of shears for cutting the hedge. And then they don't bring them back. They keep them in their garage, and then maybe 1 or 2 years later, you're still expecting that neighbour to return it, but they don't. They it's almost as if they are keeping it. They now think it belongs to them.
Exactly. So that is, and friends do that sometimes, don't they? They borrow. Well, in the old days, they used to borrow a CD or
in
a
the
tape.
old days.
20 years ago,
yes.
You would lend a CD to somebody, and then the weeks would go by and they wouldn't return it, and then after a while you'd forgotten who you'd lent it to in the first place.
That is the good thing about having MP3s.
Yes.
You can't lend them to someone. You can just send it to them in an email.
I mean, it's you've got to be tolerant of people. Everyone's got to live their life. But as I said before, it's all about showing respect, I think. There won't be neighbour problems if you just show a bit of respect. And you think, well, would I want that being done to me? And if the answer is no, then maybe you shouldn't be doing it.
Yes, well, like your quote from the Bible.
That's it.
in the beginning, there was darkness.
I don't remember saying that.
And then, no, well, I haven't finished, that's why. And then suddenly your neighbour got some nice new lights for the front of the house, and then there was lightness. It took him 7 days to put the lights in. So not returning a borrowed item. We are coming towards the end of this.
Yes.
Neighbours can also be annoying when they are bragging. Or,
right,
or
yes.
flexing.
Yeah. Right.
There's always this thing.
Flexing.
Neighbours always try to outdo each other. If one person has a car, the other neighbour will try to get a bigger car. If one person has an extension built on the house, the other neighbour will try to have a larger extension.
One-upmanship.
Yes. Or
One-upmanship.
we often call it keeping up with the Joneses.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Yes.
One-upmanship.
Yes.
Trying to compete with your neighbour with a better car, a nicer, a neater garden. You get a new drive. You have it block paved. You do something to try and keep up with the Joneses, as you say.
Yes.
And that's how advertisers get us to buy things, by trying to induce that kind of envy in you. That's part of the sort of one of the downsides of capitalism, is that companies will use these psychological tricks of envy to try and get you to buy things, so that you can have something that's slightly better than your neighbours.
Yes. But the part I'm leading to is then they have to tell you about it. They have to tell you. They have to, if they've been on holiday to a far off place,
Yes.
they will have to bring it up in conversation
Yes.
immediately. Or maybe one of their sons or daughters have gone away to university, and maybe it's Oxford or Cambridge or somewhere in London, and they have to mention it. They say, oh, my daughter's just gone. She's just gone to London to study.
They like to say London a lot.
Yes.
Here. That seems to be the thing to say if you want to impress your neighbour, is that either yourself or your husband or one of your children is working or studying in London.
Yes.
Because it sounds like that if you're going to London, you must be better than everybody else. By default.
Yes.
You must be. That
Yes.
is the implication when you say. So maybe if you live in, I don't know, somewhere in France, do they say that in France? So they say, my son's going to work in Paris. Or similar. I wonder if they do that in other countries. Whether the capital city is seen as almost the ultimate place to live and work. If you're there, you've made it. You must be successful. You must be earning loads of money.
Yes.
And therefore, that is a put down to you, because you can't come back and say, I just live in I just work in Wolverhampton.
London.
Oh dear.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah.
London is possibly one of the worst places to visit.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
There's a little bit more to the sentence. Unless, of course, you only stay there for a short time. If you're going to stay there for a very short time and see other places, then by all means visit London. But generally speaking, it's not the nicest place in the world if you're going to live there or try to have a life there, because everything is so expensive. You can't just buy a house or rent a house in London. It's thousands and thousands of pounds a month.
I think if you're young and you want an exciting life, you want to be able to go out to theatres, pubs, clubs, bars, have a great social life, and London would be great, be fantastic. But I think people tend to, it's a very fast-paced way of life, and lots of pollution, lots of people. And then maybe you can, we wouldn't do it at our age, but maybe when I was in my 20s or 30s I could have done it, but I wouldn't do it now, because people tend to move out of cities quite often when they get older, because they want to get away from that. Unless it's Paris, of course, which is beautiful and doesn't have lots of high-rise blocks of flats in the centre.
I have to be honest, I wouldn't compare Paris to London. It's weird, isn't it? Having seen both cities, because Paris has been built with lots of space, even the streets and the boulevards and the areas where you can walk around. There is lots of space. Whereas London, everything is cramped.
Well, they've let all the skyscrapers can be built, can't they? Right, anywhere in London, but they can't build
Yes.
big, tall skyscrapers.
That's it. I'm on about the streets as
Yes.
well. So, because London basically is how it was when it was first created, and they didn't plan ahead with cars and buses.
Alexandra says London is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it depends what you want. Depends what you want to do.
It depends.
Sometimes I think living here out in the country it can be a bit boring.
Yes.
So yes, sometimes you want a bit of excitement in your life. But definitely, yeah.
So if you want to be...
Francesca prefers London to Paris.
Oh,
You see, that's it. You know, we're saying these things, but other people have other opinions.
well,
So,
yes. Well, I'm not saying that this is the only way people should think. It's just our opinion.
Yeah,
you see?
yeah.
So your opinion...
We're going to
will-
play the...
Yes, in a second.
All right.
Just give me a sec,
I'm hungry.
Steve.
I'm hungry.
Well, we haven't finished yet. Here's one more. Getting a new neighbour.
Oh.
Oh, this is our worst fear.
Always worries you, doesn't it, when you get a new neighbour, doesn't it? You think, oh,
Yeah, I hate it. I hate seeing a for sale sign outside a neighbour's house. And then you worry yourself at night. You think, oh, who is going to buy that house?
yes.
Will it be horrible people? Will they make lots of noise? Will they have kids?
Dogs,
Dogs?
parties,
Parties?
extensions.
Yes.
Yeah, it does worry you sometimes, doesn't
Mm.
it? Particularly if you've had a good neighbour and then they move out.
Yes.
You maybe it was only single person living on their own. Then they move out and in moves a big family,
Yeah.
and you've been used to years of peace and quiet, and suddenly you've got to adjust,
Yes.
on what you're doing, and maybe change what you're doing. So yes, that's a good one, Mr. Duncan. Getting a new neighbour, and you try to befriend them, don't you? Become friends with them in the hope that they will like you and then respect you and not do things that annoy you. But that doesn't always work out.
That is always our intention until they meet us, and then they immediately dislike us completely. So getting a new neighbour can be a worrying thing. That's it, Steve. That's it. Enough of the neighbours, enough of the annoying things. Would you like to have some fun?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm always up for some fun, Mr. Duncan.
Mr. Steve wants some fun.
Belarusia's dog barks a lot at night.
Claudia,
Yes.
your dog barks. There is a way of solving that, by the way. You can put a muzzle on them, which stops them from barking. Or, of course, if it's a male dog, you can cut his testicles off.
Does that stop it barking?
Apparently it does. It stops them from being all wild and crazy.
Yes.
I don't know what you do to female dogs. Probably bring in a lover for them, maybe a male dog to keep them occupied. But then he would need his testicles, you see, so...
Claudia must have access to things that can put you to sleep, from her dentistry. So maybe you could put your dog to sleep at night with an injection.
You could pull all the dog's...
Anaesthetics.
You could take all the dog's teeth out.
Well, as long as it doesn't annoy the neighbours, then I can't see that being a problem.
Yes. So
that would
there
annoy
you
me
are
being
on
woken
about...
up.
So there you are, Claudia, talking about your neighbour who used to throw his cigarettes out the window. And there you are with your barking dog keeping the neighbours awake at night.
See, I used to have a friend I used to know somebody in. Michael says, I'm from Paris, but I've got a friend in London, and I can go to London to visit. Isn't that great? You want a friend in London and a friend in Paris. Well, we have a friend in Paris, actually, don't we?
Actually, I think it's his dream to do that.
Wouldn't that be nice? You could go and visit each other in these wonderful capital cities and enjoy the best of both what these cities have to offer, which is a lot.
Sounds good. Anyway, Steve, it's time to play our game.
Yes, we've only got 5 minutes.
Well, we can overrun slightly.
Well, you can. I'm hungry. I've been working hard in the garden.
Yes, I get it, Steve. All right.
Yeah, carry on.
Here we go. Are you ready to play the new game? What's it called?
Sentence game Mark II.
No.
The word game.
No.
Fill in the blank.
Fill in the blanks. We are back, everyone. English Addict on a Sunday. I hope you are enjoying this live stream today. We are now going to play our new game that we started last week. It is called Fill in the Blanks. I don't have any music for this yet. We might next week. So I'm going to show you a sentence. All you have to do is add your own words to it. There are no rules. You can add your words as long as the sentence is grammatically correct. Oh, Mr. Duncan, you are so strict. Here we go.
Grammar. That's the important thing with this.
Yes. So we don't normally do grammar, and this is the nearest that we will ever get to doing it. Here it is then, straight away, straight off the bat, as they say. Don't something to something off the something. Oh, so I'm not sure if this is hard or easy. So there is no actual real answer, although I will give you my suggestion in a few moments. So this is sort of, I would say this is maybe a warning, or maybe you are asking someone as a way of reminding them. I think my sandwich from last night just came up.
It's Victoria's birthday today, by the way.
Is it?
Yes.
Victoria. Can I just say, happy birthday, Victoria. It's your birthday. Yes, it is. Have a super duper 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 birthday.
Well, it must be a super duper birthday because Victoria is here.
Yes.
On the live stream.
Yes. It's amazing that you are here on your birthday.
It obviously wasn't going very well, and then you came on the live stream, and now it's going very well.
Yes.
You thought, it's my birthday, I'm going to cheer myself up and watch Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve.
Yes. Complaining about neighbours.
That's right, yeah. So, any suggestions yet?
Francesca, don't go to the office. Off the records.
Grammar. Think of grammar.
The first part is good. Don't go to. But there isn't the, you see. Don't go to. So maybe something else. Maybe you are asking a person to remember something. You are asking them to remember. So what do you normally say if you ask someone to remember something? You say, don't what? Don't.
But, yeah.
What?
Could be, yes.
Don't go to the house of babies. That's interesting.
Grammar. Think of grammar. It's got to be grammatically correct.
Yes. And
for
also
this to work.
Also, if you think of something that's rude, please put it on. We need to spice things up.
We are the cherry on the cake. Victoria was having a wonderful day.
Oh.
And we are the cherry on the cake, or the icing on the cake.
Wow.
Thank you. What a lovely thing to say.
Isn't that lovely? Maybe you could send us a piece of your birthday cake. That would be very nice indeed. Don't forget to play off the records.
Well, yeah. Don't forget.
Oh, that's quite. Don't forget to take off the food. So that could be right if you are asking a person not to overcook something. or you take off the food. So maybe you take it off the oven or off
The stove.
stove. Yes, that's
Yes.
quite good. Yes, you can take something off. To take it off means to remove it, maybe to avoid damage.
Yes, Flower says, don't forget to turn off.
Hmm?
Turn off what? Could be turn off the lights you could put in there.
Yes.
Don't forget, you could turn off lots of things. But that fit, don't forget to turn off. That works. And then
Well,
you can put anything at the end.
We actually
of
have the answer. That answer now. Sue R. Lee. Hello to Sue R. Lee. Don't forget to turn off the lights. That's a good one. So that gets a Mr. Duncan thumbs up.
Ah, right. Well, Teaksha says you could put don't. Oh no, don't. No, that doesn't work. Don't go to that. That's not grammatically correct. But you could have said don't forget to show off the business, indicating that you want to tell people about your business. Don't forget to cut off the grass.
Lemon Tree. Don't forget to turn off. To turn off the computer.
Yes.
Although these days people say that you should never turn your computer off. Have you heard that? That's the latest thing apparently. Apparently if you have a home computer or a desktop, you should never ever turn it off. You should have it running all the time.
Don't forget to turn off the stove, says Claudia. Don't forget to turn off the computer. Don't forget to...
Michael has a good one. Michael Victorine. Don't forget to switch off. Don't forget to switch off the light. Yes, switch off. You can also use...
Tomek said that as well.
Yes. Hello, Tomek.
We thought you would surface towards the end.
You can say switch off or turn off.
Have you been here all along? Yes.
So you can switch off the light. That means you are turning the light off. Switch off. Turn off. You are disconnecting the light from the power supply.
Here's one. Lemon Tree. Don't forget... Vittoria. Don't try to get off the tracks.
Maybe there's a train coming.
Well, yeah, but it works.
Yes.
Don't try to will fit in there. You don't have to put forget. Don't try to. Well, you would try to get off the tracks probably, but no, don't try to get off the tracks. But you probably would. It sort of makes grammatical. It works grammatically, but yeah.
Maybe don't forget to get off the tracks before the train comes. Nitram says, don't forget to switch off the porn. We've all been there, I'm sure.
Lemon Tree, don't forget to shut off the lights. Yes, you can turn off the lights, shut off the lights. What was the other one?
Switch off.
Switch off.
Yes.
Shut off.
I have my own suggestions. Mine are forget, switch, oven. Don't forget to switch off the oven. Quite often, if you are going out, to switch off something is to disconnect from the power supply, from the electricity. Don't forget to switch off the oven. So some very good suggestions there. I thought that was quite good.
But don't forget to turn off. Don't forget to pull off the...
What?
Says VTAS. Don't forget to pull off the...
Please don't finish that sentence.
Don't forget to take off... Well, your coat, you would say, not the coat. Don't forget to take off the... What could you say? Don't forget to take off the... There's a lot of people, but don't forget to take off the...
Wrapping. Maybe if you bought some food and it's inside some paper or maybe some plastic, you have to take off the wrapping or the plastic first A lot of people do that. They put their food in the oven and they forget to remove part of the package.
And that'll be instructions on the ready meal. Don't forget to take off the wrapping. Yeah, that one works.
Good. I think, Mr. Steve, it is time to
Don't
call...
forget to pull off the stunt. Yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
right.
It is time to go, I think. Because,
Is it? Haven't you got another one?
well, I'm getting very mixed messages. First of all, it's late. It's 4:05. It's also getting dark.
It's getting dark and I need to just go and tidy up outside.
Steve has a little bit more work to do outside, so we are going to call it a day.
How about one more? No?
Well, we'll be back on Wednesday. We could do it on Wednesday.
All right then. We'll do it on Wednesday.
We'll be back on Wednesday. Don't forget, from 2 p.m. UK time, we are back on Wednesday. And Mr. Steve will also be with us on Wednesday as well.
I'm going somewhere on Wednesday, I'm sure.
Oh, are you?
I'm sure I'm going somewhere on Wednesday. Yes.
Okay, so we won't be doing it on Wednesday because Steve won't be here.
I might be back though. I might be back.
Oh,
I'm definitely going somewhere on Wednesday. I can't think where, but I am definitely going somewhere.
oh, okay. Steve is going places on Wednesday. But I will be here anyway, whatever happens.
Lovely to be here, Mr. Duncan. Hope you all have a wonderful week and you have learned something today and you will hopefully learn something on Tuesday. Haven't seen Martin on today.
No, maybe he decided not to watch. Maybe he's decided that the memory of last night is not one he wants to relive.
Probably had to sort out his car, probably.
Yes.
But anyway, yes, lovely to be here. See you. I'll try and be here on Wednesday if I'm back in time, Mr. Duncan, but I probably won't be because I'm leaving at 11.
Okay.
And I probably won't be back till after 2. Okay. Just to let you know. You didn't know that until I just told you, did you?
It's all news to me.
It's all news to you. Bye, everyone.
Mr. Steve will not be here on Wednesday. I thought he might be, but he's not. So instead, it'll just be me. I'm sorry about that. It will just be me on Wednesday. I'm ever so sorry. I hope you can stand it. I hope you can put up with me on my own on Wednesday. See you on Wednesday. I'm back with you on Wednesday, just in case you didn't hear me say that. I will be with you from 2 p.m. UK time on Wednesday. Thanks for your company. Thanks for joining me today as the darkness falls across the land behind me. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for watching. See you soon. I want to show the picture. Shall I show the photograph from the other night again? Okay, well, let me just, if I can find it, of course. Where has it gone? Where is it? Where? Ah, there it is. This is what happened last night. Thank you very much for your company today. And I will see you on Wednesday. Take care of yourselves, please. Stay safe, stay happy, and I will see you very soon. And of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Oh dear. Ta-ta for now.